2021's half over, if you can believe it. Windows 11 is on its way, and there's a lot we need to work on around the Geekhouse in order to get there.
The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
Well, the 4th of July pretty much got rained out this year, but while people are fiddling around with fireworks and whatever other things can happen because of that, I have my own things to fiddle around with, such as stuff that's been in the box for way too long. Now, one of the things that I've lacked around the project area is a solid wired connection of some sort. I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to update a computer that you just re-imaged with Windows updates and stuff off of a wireless dongle over an old wireless network, it's not exactly the fastest or most secure way of doing so. So we're going to be doing some experimenting with this Powerline kit. Powerline is known for being pretty slow compared to a lot of stuff that's out there, but under the right circumstances, it can negate the need for a spaghetti cable going way across your house or hidden around rugs or hidden around corners or whatever. So if you don't have a house with Ethernet built in and you don't want to use wireless for everything, this is your next best option, even though there is a bit of a speed loss. I'm just curious how much of a speed loss there is. This is a TP Link AV2000 setup, and it actually has 2 network ports, so I'm going to have to see how that works. I want to see if these are any better than what I currently have, which limits me to basically not being able to do more than 100 megabits up and down when internet service packages go way faster these days. So let's see what the limits of this thing are. Windows 11 is on the way as well, and we actually have to figure out what to do about the Dellasaurus, Monolith, the whole 9 yards, with all that Windows 11 stuff that's going to be a thing if things don't change between now and launch. But the dark mode wallpaper looks pretty darn cool. So this is what we have to play with a spaghetti cable. There was a promo a while back to try out 400 down, 50 up for cheap, so I figured I'd spring for it. But if there's no promos or sales going on, the speed that I'm looking for is 100 down, 10 up. That'll cover everything, including YouTube uploads and streaming, quite handsomely. However, I'm curious just how much of this we lose and how much of that we can get with the kind of equipment that's available nowadays without having to use spaghetti cables. There's the current TP Link that we're using. I think it should be able to get about 100 or 80 and something. I think it only do like 80 to 100 in either direction. Let's see how it's doing before we swap it out with the next model up. Yeah, that's about what I've been getting out of this Powerline kit, is about 100 tops in either direction. So let's see how much better the new Powerline kit does. Have I purchased an upgrade, or am I merely expanding what I already have? Alright, let's see what we have to play with here and see how much better this is, if it's better at all. If it's not better, then I've basically purchased an extension of my Powerline network. So Powerline is always heavily restricted on speed because of the technology that it uses. What you're looking for from Powerline is stability versus the various forms of interference and other crap that can happen with Wi-Fi. I'm betting it happens even with those whole home Wi-Fi repeater kits that are really popular right now. It's just wireless, man. Don't forget, anything that's called wireless is pretty much using radios. And we know radios can get fuzzy or have other stuff happen, things like that. I would rather have an actual something running through wires as opposed to being broadcast around the house and hoping the reception's good enough. Wow, these things are huge! Definitely the biggest Powerline adapters I've worked with as of yet. Glad I got the pass-through version so that you can just plug something in case they take up the whole darn socket. But yeah, these things are huge. They have 2 Cat jacks on them, but the pack-in cables that came with them are only Cat 5Es. I think I'm already rolling with Cat 6 for everything, so I don't know if I'll have any use for these. Maybe as backups if I need a cable in a pinch. But isn't that how most folks' cable collections begin? They think they'll need a cable someday, and next thing they know, they've got boxes of cables that they haven't used in like 10 years or so. Whatever. Oh yeah, that thing is huge! Can't even get it in a proper shot properly. Because it's actually bigger than the last one. Speed-wise, what are we getting? The speed on these things is very often overstated. 150 max in either direction. The speed on these things is grotesquely overstated most of the time. If I went by the model number, I should be getting double the speed out of this, but it's only 1.5 times the speed. So yeah, hardly a 4K whatever it is that it said on the box, but that's the limitations of the technology. Its strength is its stability, not its speed. Try number 2, this time using the second port on the Powerline box to bypass the little switch that I have for everything in this general part of the house. Going straight to the Powerline part of the network made no difference, as I thought it would. I knew it wouldn't do anything. The weak point of these things is always whatever your house wiring does to them. And there ends that part of the experiment. The important thing to remember, though, is that even with the disappointing results of Powerline equipment, what I have right now will actually give me the bandwidth that I need at 150 max if I had the internet package that was just enough to stream with 100 down, 10 up. And when DOCSIS 4 launches and things get more synchronous, any synchronous package up to 150 would be covered as well. So garbage when it comes to the super fast internet speeds available nowadays, but at least it's something wired without having to Wi-Fi the whole house. The next thing to figure out is what to do with the old TP Link equipment, which will run at a slower speed, and hopefully it doesn't lowest common denominator the entire Powerline section of the network. But obviously one of these is going to be for the project area, the other one I'll set up for a wired Ethernet connection to the Turd Shiba in the bedroom, since I use the Turd Shiba as a bedroom TV. And I've been having lots of problems lately with the Wi-Fi on that thing, just flaking out and flaking out and flaking out. We also freed up this AC tap from not needing it in the main area anymore, so this will be good for the project area to split that outlet up so that we can put on something like this without losing half the darn plugs and things like that. So I can definitely find more use for this thing over here than over there, now that that other stuff is up and running. Well, this is interesting. All the lights are lit up. I wonder if that means that it can see all the other TP links that I'm using, and we don't need to pair it. It's pretty concerning, though, if you use these in an apartment setting where you all have the same electrical wiring, of course. What does that mean for your network if your neighbors get these things too? You're definitely going to want to pair them up with only the ones that you're using by whatever means necessary. But let's see if, let's hook up a computer, fire up a computer. Well, a Dellasaurus, obviously. There's been one on the table for weeks now. And let's see if we have any connectivity whatsoever. Right. Go Gadget Dellasaurus Rex, or something like that. This thing still works, right? It has a ding in it because I dropped Tuxedo by accident, and it kind of dinged the case on this one. Heavy computers, man. My days of using heavy computers are over. Well, crap! There's connectivity! This thing's actually working! Yeah. Right, let's see what speed we're getting on this machine once everything is done trying to update all at once. And then let's see if the two different speeds of Powerline boxes are dogging the network speeds of the main area. But, wow! Wasn't expecting this to be this plug and play. Yeah, thought so. Here comes all the Windows updates from the past several weeks. Yeah, we can't be testing bandwidth while this is going on. Hopefully it'll be faster, though, now that it actually has a wired connection instead of wireless. Or is this thing using the wireless? I did pull out the dongle, right? Oh, crap. Yeah, there is no dongle. And, we're getting blinky lights from the link lights. So yeah, this thing's working as is. Well, this is promising, but there's no way any of these computers are getting the full internet speed over these Powerline adapters, network or not. Although, watch, I'll bet there's a fluke in the house wiring that makes the older equipment over here go faster. I'm probably gonna look like an idiot in a few more cuts. Well, while we're waiting for Dellasaurus Rex, let's try out the one that I want to use with the Turd Shiba. Yeah, it's already linked up and it already has connectivity. Interesting. Well, let's see what kind of speed the turd sheep is getting. The worst numbers in the entire house, due in no small part to the turd Shiba only having a 10100 network jack to begin with.
Epic fail.
I cannot believe how long it can take to patch up a computer that's been sitting around for several weeks, but we finally did it. And here's our results for speed test. Results are actually similar to the newer equipment in the main area. So obviously the electrical wiring is the bottleneck here, as it will be with Powerline gear. Now let's check the main system. The performance actually degraded. Regardless though, it's still over 100 down, so the internet plan that I'm looking at would still work fine with this equipment, but we would hit a wall pretty quickly when upgrade time came around. Oh man, Powerline gear, gotta love it. And here's the topography of all the Powerline links, and if we take a look between the main area, the router area, the project area, and the bedroom area, we can actually see that the speed correlates to the distance as well as the hardware, and still we get about 674 megabits per second going out to the router area. The problem is if we reverse that number's a little lower, so yeah, it could be better in terms of speed. Plus, I don't know where these things are getting their numbers from, but it is what it is. It's either this or whole house Wi-Fi with repeaters all over the place. And I don't know how much better that would actually do in terms of reliability. I need reliability more than I need speed. You know how many times I've watched a streamer who can't even get their own stream looking good because they're doing it over wireless, and despite the whole home Wi-Fi, this router is amazing, and maybe even having a Netgear Nighthawk or something, they still get lag, they still get artifacts and pixelization because their streams have issues because of the nature of the connection going out to the ingest server. I'll pass on that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I spent my 4th of July. And I spent all that time doing just one thing on the list of things I want to do to move the technology in the Geekhouse forward. I gotta pick up the pace on some of this stuff. But for now... Let's see what all the hubbub's been about now, shall we? Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.